fly a kite. Travel to Shirone, Japan, where kite flying is a fight to the finish.
Coming up on the second half of Explorer, kites are the weapons of choice in Shirone, Japan's giant kite battle.
You're watching the world's greatest adventures on National Geographic Explorer.
Kite flying sounds like a thoroughly light-hearted pursuit, perfect for a day at the beach or in a country meadow. But kites have other purposes. Ben Franklin used one for a shocking revelation about electricity. The military uses them as gunnery targets. And there's another sort of combat in which kites are essential. Kite fights are an annual tradition at a knockdown, drag-out festival in the Japanese town of Shirone, 150 miles northwest of Tokyo.
Once a year, the people of Shirone set aside their quiet lives to demonstrate a special kind of fervor. They go takokichi, kite crazy.
Kite crazy refers to people who really love kites. People who think more about kites than getting their 3 meals a day. Even when they go to bed, they can't fall asleep because they see kites flying over their beds.
Normally, Shirone is a peaceful place, like any other town in rural Japan. Its farmers labor through the spring to plant the rice on time. When the work is done, they turn their attention away from the earth, joining in a ritual that celebrates the open sky, the great Shirone kite fights. It all began 250 years ago. According to legend, a giant kite was given to a village leader by the local lord. The kite was so enormous that it damaged crops and houses when it unexpectedly came crashing down. Soon, angry villagers were using kites to battle one another in the sky. The skirmishes grew into a festival where people could release their tensions every year. For a growing number of enthusiasts, it was the epitome of airborne entertainment. Now as in the past, kite madness sweeps across Shirone every June, infecting anybody old enough to clutch a piece of string or search the heavens for a breeze. Every corner of the town fills up with kites as rival teams prepare for battle. Every driveway, every playground, every school gymnasium is taken over as a staging area for the campaign. Kazuo Tamura is an internationally known team leader.
This event is very important to me. It's not just a question of having a good time. Somehow, underneath a sky that's full of kites, everyone seems equal, and no one flies a kite in times of war. So the festival is like a sign that we're at peace.
All Shirone kites are made by hand in the traditional way, a marathon of pasting, painting, and arranging. Like the banners of an army on the march, their designs identify competing sides. Each team has a specialist in painting. Among them is Saburo Imai, whose vivid work is widely admired. He makes his living as a baker, but his greatest pleasure comes from illustrating kites.
The lines must have their own dynamic power. Form is secondary. If you paint a line the ordinary way, it doesn't show the drive of the brush. I pay a lot of attention to that sort of thing. Well, it's like this. When I go to a noodle shop to eat and happen to see there a framed picture of an ancient warrior, I think to myself, I can use this as a kite picture. Or while looking through a book of old kabuki photographs, I may find one that I think is good for a kite. Whenever that happens, I make my own design and keep it for the future. Of course, I know that once a kite goes up into the air, it's always destroyed. All a painter cares about is that while it's up there, it's beautiful.
Opening day. 1,500 kites are at the ready, and the teams turn out to celebrate. The biggest kites are called O'Dako. They are cumbersome to carry and difficult to launch, but 13 different teams will try their best. Other teams prefer the smaller kites. Called Rokkaku, they are relatively easy to maneuver, more like fighter jets than heavy bombers. For centuries, the Battle of the Kites has taken place along Shirone's river, the Nakanokuchi. Stationed on opposite banks, competing teams maneuver for position. The goal is to ensnare another kite and pull it from the sky. Now the real competition can begin. A tug of war that rages fiercely to the finish. Kites that were created only days ago are twisted, pulled, and battered without mercy. The team whose rope has broken is declared to be the loser. Bonus points are given to the winning side for every inch of rope it captures from the losing team. All along the river, teams engage in skirmishes that quickly lead to open warfare. By the end of day one, hundreds of the smaller kites have been destroyed. But those who want to fly the big O'Dako kites are grounded by the breeze, which has been blowing from the east. Without a steady northern wind, the larger kites are helpless. The O'Dako teams can only pray for a change in the weather, hoping to be ready for the breeze when it arrives. Being ready means ensuring that the lines are strung correctly. Hand-woven rope is crucial to Shirone kites. It serves a double purpose, controlling the kite and standing up to savage tugs of war. With so much at stake, many teams maintain an air of secrecy about the way their lines are strung.
The most important thing is teamwork. Everyone runs around clinging to the same rope, so they have to work together. This is very important. Without teamwork, these kites won't fly. They'll fall right to the ground.
But teamwork is no help without a breeze. On the third day of this 5-day festival, the wind continues to be uncooperative. The O'Dako teams are worried that this may turn out to be the first year in Shirone's history when they will not get a chance to fight. But giving up would be unthinkable. When evening falls, their spirits are as high as ever.
Everywhere you go in Japan, there is some kind of festival where you can relax and let yourself go. If there are no kite festival, we'd have to find another excuse for going wild. Anything where we can act like madmen and forget the rest of the world.
On the fifth and final day, the wind continues to deliver disappointment. But the fates are kinder than expected. With a single hour to go, a northern breeze sweeps down along the river to release the giant kites from their imprisonment. Now, Tamura's team will have its only chance to win a tug of war before the festival is over. It's a situation that requires all the skill and passion they can muster.
People call me a kite maniac. I am a kite enthusiast. That's just me. They call me a kite maniac. But I don't think I'm all that crazy.
I don't feel sorry that the kites are wrecked. I just feel good when they get in the battle and win. It's even better to lose a battle than not to go into battle at all.
In a good year, every kite is destroyed. But the people of Shirone never seem to mourn the loss. Next spring, the kites will live again. Their giant silhouettes will glide across the sky each year until kite craziness dies out. So far, no one wants to take the cure.